Hey Team Heart, welcome to our Monday evening call this evening. I'm Charlie Robinson, or Charlie Thompson officially. Most people know me as Charlie Robinson because that's my Facebook status, and I'm going to be hosting and running this call for you this evening. Please make sure you've got a pen and paper, and hopefully I'll be able to share a few golden nuggets with you this evening. So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. As I've said, my name's Charlie Robinson Thompson. My married name's Thompson. I'm married to Kat Thompson, and we have two gorgeous little children there. I was trying to put an updated photo, but my computer wouldn't allow me to do it in the last few seconds. So I've got Harrison, who was 2 last week, and I've got Maya, who has just gone 5. And I've been involved in this business since March last year, since we came to the UK. I work with the lovely Lara, and I've got a fantastic team of people. One person I'm going to introduce you to in a little while. I'm lucky to be Pro 5 because I have such an amazing team. I'm part-time in the business because my main job is looking after the 2 children. As most of you have got children, you'll be able to relate to that. And I also have a second business as well that's quite demanding. So trying to fit everything around what we're doing and trying to build the Life Vantage business, I'm pretty certain that all of you will be able to agree with me that sometimes it can be pretty tough, and you've got to be really well motivated and focused and strict with yourself to make sure that you're doing something on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm a Pro 5. I really love the business, but I really love the product. The reason I came on board with this business was the product, believe it or not, and I'm sure lots of people can relate to that. I love the fact that it's completely unique. I love the fact that it works and nobody can compare it to anything else. Any organisations that I've been involved in, people have tried to compare the product that I've been promoting with something else, and I used to find that really, really annoying. And I love the fact that this is a very simple product. You literally take a pill or take a couple of pills in the day, and the product works. So yeah, those are the reasons why I got involved in the business. Plus, lovely Lara. I couldn't resist working with Lara again because she's such a fantastic person to work with, and we've become friends over the last few years. So yeah, irresistible company, irresistible product, irresistible team, and let's get on with the presentation this evening. But talking about irresistible teams, what I'd like to do is I'd like to recognise a lady called Eileen. Now, I've known Eileen for a few years. We actually share the same birthday, so there's got to be something good there. Eileen was one of the first people that I spoke to about this business. I knew she'd completely get it, and I knew it would totally fit with her the energy. I just knew she'd get it, and it had to be one of the first people that I shared with this business. Now, what I've asked Eileen to do is, Eileen's a Pro 4, okay, but some people, when you're recognised as a Pro 4 or a Pro 5, for those people that have just started in the business, or people that are Pro 1, Pro 2, you look up and you see these Pro 4s and Pro 5s and you just think, oh, if only me. My life is so complicated. I have so much stuff going on in my business. I honestly don't know how I'm going to get to Pro 4, Pro 5, Pro 6, Pro 7. I just don't know how it's ever going to work. And sometimes we don't have such a good month, okay? So we have a bit of a, dare I say, a bit of a bum month. And you honestly think, how am I going to be able to, to build this business? There's a few secrets. I'm not going to go into them because I want this lovely lady like Eileen to share her story. So where she started, and she came on board with me in March last year, to where she is now, and what sort of road she's been running along. So Eileen, are you able to mute yourself?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Charlie?
I can. We can hear you. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so people can actually see you. Yeah, I'm going to hand. Oh, who have we got? We've got the grandchildren in the back.
Company.
I'm going to hand it over to Eileen. I'd like you to share your story, Eileen, and inspire all those people of how you've got from where you were to where you are now, and the road and the journey that it's taken you on. Over to you, Eileen.
Yeah, with pleasure. Because I think it'll resonate with an awful lot of people, Charlie. Okay, so I'm Eileen Thornton. I'm living in Dublin, in Swords in Dublin, Ireland, where we're not actually officially open yet, but we're working on it. So I joined, as Charlie says, with her last year. My background originally, way back, was shoes. I worked in shoe shops all my life, loved them. Finally decided at age 38, sick of working for other people, I want to work for myself. So myself and my sister opened up a shoe shop. We had that for about 5 years, had to kiss that goodbye, it wasn't working out for us. So I was kind of at a thing like, where do I go here? I wanted something whereby I could spend more time with my children. And I thought, if I work for myself and do something, I'll be able to spend more time with children. So I got the brainwave of I would work in a school. When my kids were in school, I'd be off and etc. and so on. That lasted a while, moved on then to holistic energies. Now, in the meantime, I was with another networking company. It was an extra income, it paid the mortgage, it did well, I got some nice holiday breaks from it, etc. But that started to change. You know, the way we evolve all the time. So change is a constant thing. And the changes that were coming about they weren't suiting me. So I left off that. I took a huge leap of faith, changed direction totally, and went into holistic energy. And I realized that was really, really where my passion was, helping people, really helping people and helping them make a difference to their lives. So I've done that for a good few years. And fast forward to last March. And Charlie sent me a message one day and love you to have a look at this, Eileen. When I look back on it, Charlie, I think it was a very kind of a step one, step two, ABC, text sort of perfect kind of introduction, response, etc. and so on. You know, as I look back on it. And I said, if we could all get them, it would be great. But I looked at that link and it absolutely blew me away. So Charlie was like, yeah, she was bang on. Her gut was right with introducing me to this and looking at this. So I just absolutely tore into this and I was so excited about this. I told everybody, the bin men and everything got to hear about this. Okay. So one guy bought a 3-month supply and I haven't seen him since. I think he was sacked. Anyway, everybody, literally everybody. So I introduced a few distributors, a few customers, didn't manage to get people on auto ship, etc. But I wasn't too phased about that. People were buying the product, they were seeing differences, they were seeing huge, huge improvements in their health. That kind of blew me away. Meantime, my own dad at the time was suffering really, really chronic arthritis, and he was losing the power of his hands. And I had just said to my daughter, we'll say on a Tuesday, I'm going to have to move in with him because he can't cope living alone anymore. So she said, well, I'll run the house here, ma'am, you move in there, do what you've got to do for granddad, and we'll see how it goes. And literally 4 days later, I had called him, rang him, and been over. But the fourth day, I walked in, and he's like, "Look, Eileen," and all I could see was his hands waving furiously, frantically. "Look, it's a miracle! It's a miracle, Eileen. My hands work again. My hands, I've no more pain." And he would never admit to having pain. They always were sore. They were sore. He'd never have pain. They were just sore. He said, "I can move them." Within another 4 days, he was actually playing his organ. He was taking the Hoover out. He was making his own tea, lifting kettles. He had his life back. He had his independence back, had his dignity back. All right, and the following week, I was just having a chat, working away, Dad, how are things? And I thought he was a bit breathless. I said, what are you doing? I said, he's out sweeping the garden. He had not been able to do that in years. He just hadn't got the power in his hands. Never mind the soreness, the pain. He didn't actually have the power. So he had bad carpal tunnel that had not been diagnosed. It had been misdiagnosed. So there was a lot of damage done to his hands from that. So when he went on the little yellow pill, it gave him back the use of his hands. It took care of the arthritis in his knees, in his groin, in his ankles. He basically got a new lease of life. So I was like, oh my God, I'm telling everybody about this. This is amazing. This is fantastic. I went to Pro 1, I went to Pro 2 in the first month, and I went to Pro 3 in April. Oh my God, this is great. This is fantastic. I was so excited about it. And then I started going into a little few problems with deliveries, issues, and because they were only launching into the UK, there was the normal teething problems. So I got a few of them. Then my daughter was getting married and we were getting ready for that. A few bits went wrong with that. So we got that righted. She got married in July. So I kind of took the foot off the pedal, so to speak, right? And I pulled back a little bit. And my daughter got married and I thought, I'll pick this back up again. I was away for holidays till the end of August. I'll pick this back up again. My other daughter's partner committed suicide, took his own life. So there was huge, huge fallout from that. And that's when I kind of realized, my God in heaven, like, you know, this is a very real business and workable business. But, you know, the team we are with, the company we're with, but more so the team we were with, nobody ever said, oh, Eileen, you know, you need to put that aside now. Don't worry about that grief and your kids and your daughter and all that. Get stuck into your business. As a matter of fact, I was treated with such respect and such kindness. It blew me away also. Because in every other business I had ever been, I had never, ever received that consideration. Absolutely, never had I received that. It was like, no, come on, toughen up, put your big girl pants on, get on with it. You can't let your business go, and you know, you can do it. You have the strength. And yeah, I had the strength, but I hadn't got the motivation, and I had people's lives falling down around my ankles, literally. So supporting my daughter, there was an awful lot of, this was like something, guys, I'm going to be honest with you and share this with you. This was like something, the story, it's like something you would read in a magazine. My daughter was harassed. She was physically attacked. So much happened to her over this guy taking his own life. She'd only been with him a year, you know. I think they'd been married or something. So we had police involved. We had an awful lot of everything that brings in. Okay, huge fallout. So trying to push past that and get through that. And I thought, yeah, okay, come Christmas, going to pick this up, get back up to Pro 2, Pro 3, because I was down to Pro 1 or nothing like. So I had to start from scratch again. And then my father got ill. And he was diagnosed in December with an enormous aneurysm that was actually leaking. So I knew he hadn't been well since August, but we realized then that this man was actually a walking time bomb. That could have ruptured at any time. So it was softly, softly, and it was gently, gently, and get him over Christmas and get him for his appointment. Excuse me a second. Yes, Mom. I'm busy. You can't hear the telly. 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. So we got him over the Christmas, and he went into hospital, went for consultation on the 4th of January. And I had started to kind of look at the business again in a very serious way. And he went into hospital and they kept him in, they wouldn't let him back out again. So we had January, February, March, and April of my dad being in and out of hospital, in for 2 weeks, in for a month, out for 3 days, back in again. He just wasn't getting better, but they kept dismissing him. As I said, I ended up saying, you know, you've got to do something about this, because my dad is not a bed blocker and you're treating him like a bed blocker. So I was fighting his corner. Myself and a brother were really close, fighting his corner every step of the way to sort of get this man the attention, the respect, and the care that he needed. So there was about 3 teams of doctors involved. Fourth team came in, and we'd all of this. So to cut a long story short there, he was diagnosed with internal bleeding, and going forward, his treatment was blood transfusions to keep him alive. So I had sworn to him and to myself, when he went into hospital, I would bend over backwards and do everything I could for him. But I said, Dad, I can't let this business down. And he said, whatever you do, he says, keep going, because that has helped me so much. And he said, I've no pain, Eileen. I'm in here. And he was 87, and he was the fittest man in the ward, and everybody else was in their 60s. And he actually was the fittest man in the ward, and he felt great. So he was like cock of the walk there, showing off and everything he was. So I said, okay, I'm going to get stuck in. So I started to rebuild. And thanks to the amazing team I have underneath me now and working with me now, I brought in some key people. And I said, I've got to get back here to Pro 2, but to Pro 3. Pro 3, guys, is sort of the level to hit where you know you're serious. And you're seeing, people know then that you are serious. You feel that seriousness, you feel that shift with the company, with uplines, with downlines, with everybody, Pro 3. So the aim was Pro 3. So I thought, how am I going to do this? And he's in hospital, and I was all day, every day in hospital. And if I went to work, and I work miles away, and I don't have 2, 3, 4 drive hours to work the weekends, I would drive back, pop in and see him. I'd leave the hospital maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I was known as the night shift worker and all that kind of thing. But while going to work, and while he was having surgeries, and while he was having treatments and so on, I'd be there by the side of the bed. And I can say I built my business back to Pro 3 at his bedside using Facebook. I had done an awful lot of personal contact up to that, and Facebook. I said, that's my answer. Facebook. Joined some groups, put up some posts, looked at what other guys were doing, a few American like Vantage people that had a bit more experience, and I copied them. Simple as. I copied them. I kind of edited a tiny little bit, and I did what they were doing. So he'd be maybe unconscious or maybe asleep. He'd wake up and I'd say, God, you never guess what, Dad, I'm after getting another customer. Guess what, Dad? I have amazing guys after joining me, or amazing girls after joining me. We're going to do this. And he says, you have to get this brought into Ireland. You know, you have to. And I said, yeah, no, we will. We'll get this done. We'll get this done. Now, this was a very, very, very sick man. I mean, he almost died 3 times, once every month that he was in there. So I knew it wasn't really good. So I said, I still cannot let this slip again, because maybe I would have never picked it back up again. But also the amount of people that I knew. I mean, I was in a ward full of elderly old people that had all the diseases and the conditions that we are able to help and make a difference with our little yellow pill. So I felt kind of a moral obligation to tell even more people then. So I was telling nurses, I was telling porters, I half them thought I was mad. That was okay too, probably right. So I'm telling everybody. There was a few families there, and they were saying, you know, the dads had diabetes and say this, that, and I'm telling them, like, we need to talk. I'm not going to do it now while you're by your dad's bedside, but we talked and so we went for several coffees and teas and so on. And a few of them, not them all, but a few of them, they were kind of too upset with their sick relatives, you know, to really take it in. They just wanted to see these people, the doctors, make them better. But a few of them did. A few of them came on board. One guy, actually, I have a customer, he's in Limerick, and he was sent up from Limerick, which is like a 3-hour drive away, and he came on board and brought his wife on board as customers. So, but meantime, Facebook was working really, really well for me. So I'd have a few phone calls, I'd have a few follow-ups, and I have to be honest, guys, the reality of it was a struggle. It was to follow up, not so much to say, oh, you could send out as many links as you want to get them done, oh yeah, job done. It was to follow up with people and try and still make the calls and try and still support the team that you have and try and still communicate with the upline team and support that we had there, and actually to stay plugged in and just be consistent. And it was the consistency that brought me back up, with the help of my team, upline and downline, to Pro 3. So I really, really started to say, okay, I need to follow through and get to Pro 4. So I held Pro 4 then the following month, and I had a conversation with Charlie here, and I said, I realized I got to Pro 3, and I held Pro 3 then. But I said, I'm actually, and then when I got to Pro 4, I'm like, yeah, well, great. And I said, I'm actually a year behind. And she said, you just didn't put the right number of the year on it, Eileen. My goal was to be Pro 4 in June 2016. So a year elapsed with life. Life sat down on my business. Life happened. The challenges that happen, each and every one of us, just happened to me. It was a little bit a lot together, I will admit, but it happens. Everybody gets sick children. Everybody gets sick family, sick relatives. Everybody maybe loses a job. Somebody goes into hospital. It is absolutely horrible when it happens, but it happens. And I think the key is to actually just embrace it, do your best, but just stay plugged in. And whatever little bit you can do in whatever little time you have, just keep doing it and don't give up. So when I didn't give up and I kept going, I held Pro 3 the next month with the view of hitting Pro 4 the next month. The key people I brought in could actually see this, embraced it, said yes, they'd help, because they wanted to get on. They wanted to move fast as well. And that is exactly what happened. It's there for everybody. So it's like, my God, do you know what? I'm going to do this. Now, when I started doing this, I was doing it around my holistic energy, my holistic business, taking care of my dad, supporting him as best I could, looking after 2 grandchildren and doing my pro tandem as well. So time was very, very precious and very, very valuable, as it still is for everybody. But this is such a real live, flexible, doable business. I can honestly say I don't see myself as anything extraordinary, but I do see this as an extraordinary business with extraordinary support and an extraordinary company. At the extraordinary products that we have and extraordinary pay plan. And I swore to God 10 years ago I would never hit another networking business unless there was an absolutely incredible product and an incredible pay plan. And I began to doubt I would find it. And Charlie Robinson blocked it off me. She brought it to my door. And imagine, she's in England, I'm not. And she brought it to my door, right into my sitting room one Thursday afternoon. And it's the best thing that ever happened. So guys, yes, you'll have your challenges, you'll have your crisis. You might get a couple of months, you will lurch from crisis to crisis, but just keep going. Allow yourself the time to breathe. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't judge yourself harshly. Reach out and ask for the help. I was really, really bad at that. I have learned in this business with this team to actually be a team member. I had always been very independent and very much a leader and very much, no, I'll do this myself and hard on myself. No, I need to do this. I should know how to do this. My biggest word for me was I should. So I changed should for could. I could do this. I can do this. I could do that. And then I learned to ask for help, and the help was always there. I was never let down. I was never disappointed. So that is what I want to duplicate down now into my team and them into their teams. And we are going to absolutely explode this business, guys. We are going to rock this business. I think that's all I have to say for this evening. Thank you for listening, and thank you for taking the time to listen.
Wow, what can I say, guys? I mean, she just said it there, an extraordinary business. But I mean, I've seen the messages that have been coming through on the chat, Eileen. Get a chance to have a look at the messages, because we all totally agree that you are one extraordinary lady. What she didn't say, guys, is that really strong guy that was in Eileen's life, that she was at the bedside of, you know, on Facebook and dropping texts and sharing her successes with the man that she knew was lying in that bed with no pain, fair to say, because of the little yellow pill, sadly passed away. And on top of all of that you've just heard about, she's had to deal with losing her best mate, her father, the grandfather of her children, and, you know, she's an absolutely incredible person, absolutely amazing person. She's done all of that, and she's gone pro for. So the reason I asked Eileen to come on here, and, you know, feel free to mute out now, Eileen, and turn the telly up, that's absolutely fine, is because that's a real person experiencing real life situations. You know, she's had a lot of stuff happen in the space of a year, and as she said, you know, she's a year behind in her business, but you know, she's come through, she's gone pro 4, her business is growing, her business is building, and it won't be long before she's pro 5. But if Eileen can do it in those situations, for those people that are on this call this evening, that maybe, you know, business does seem a little bit tough, or maybe you've just started and you're expecting to go out there and get, you know, your first 5 customers in your first week, but actually lots of people have said no. Stick with it, be consistent. And what did she say? Stay plugged in, you know, stay plugged in, because this business is here for everybody. This support team is here for everybody. Reach out, ask for the training, ask for the support, ask for the help, because we're all here for you. And just be consistent, because anything's possible in this business. Thank you so much, Eileen, for sharing your story. Utterly amazing, utterly inspirational. So thank you. But back on with the presentation there. Can't wait till we open in Ireland. How exciting is that going to be? Let me just move. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to bring to people's attention, because lots of people are experiencing challenges, or they think they're experiencing challenges. Do you know what? Any type of business you get on board with, things don't always run smoothly. You know, things don't quite happen the way that you expect them to happen. Even if you set your own business up from scratch, you will not get it done. You will not be perfect, especially in the early days. So what I wanted to talk to you today is, just very quickly, is the LifeVantage customer services. team. I've recently had an experience with the customer service team. It was the end of month, and I spoke to an amazing guy who was fantastic at basically solving the problems, the issue that I'd got. He was amazing. He was very, very polite. He was very helpful. And they always ask, is there anything else that I can do to help you? And I've taken a clip off the LifeVantage website here in terms of what it actually says. We are dedicated to exceeding your expectations and making all of your experiences with us as pleasant as possible. Okay, your comments and suggestions are welcome. Feel free to contact us at any time. Okay, for those of you that haven't got the customer service support details, they're on the page now. So if you're on your phone, take a screenshot. If you're on the computer, take a photo of the screen that you've got there, because you've got the email address, which is always at the bottom of your back office. So you can always, click on distributor help or support, I think it is. You can click on them, you can email them directly. The telephone number there and the hours that the call centre is open, bearing in mind our time difference is different to that in Utah, where the head office is. So please make a note of that. We do get a lot of messages, and I know I've done it in a very blonde moment, sent a message out, can anybody tell me whether they've reached head office today? I'm just getting a blank tone, and it's because it's been 10 o'clock in the morning our time. So that's no good because it's not open. What I'd like to highlight is if you've got a problem, the things that you go to customer services with and not your upline, you don't need to speak to your upline, because customer services are qualified to deal with all of these problems, and it's the problems on your left-hand side of your screen. So any problems with any orders, whether they've gone missing, whatever the challenge is with an order, speak to customer services. They can help you. They can track it for you. They can help you. Any delivery issues, again, they can speak to the couriers. They get regular updates from the courier system to speak to the to customer services, anything to do with delivery issues, anything with regards to payments not going out or not going through, any challenges that you may have had on a website from that point of view. Any challenges that you're having with your back office, maybe your back office isn't allowing you to put your bank details in, go and phone customer services or click on the little help button again at the bottom of your back office and just chat to them. They're really, really helpful. So any issues from that point of view, please don't bother your uplines with. Please go to customer services, because it's customer services that will have the answers straight away for you. It's customer services that can click into your back office or click onto your website and fix the problem straight away. You don't want to be contacting your uplines, because it may take a couple of days for it to be sorted if your upline's emailing head office. Go and phone head office and get the problem sorted there and then. Get the answers for your customers on any orders there and then. Don't delay it, okay? So run an efficient business and use the customer service calls. Anything in terms of your Upline Pro 3, if you're having challenges with prospecting, following up, maybe you want to do a three-way, you're looking at ways of presenting the information that we've got and you're not sure how to do that. If you've got a question about one of the events that we're running here in the UK, or if you've got anything that you want to try and complete, if you've got a goal by the end of the month and you're just struggling to know how to do it or how to pull your team together, or you've got any training requirements, that's when you go and speak to your Upline Pro 3 and above, okay? Because we are here, we've got our arms wide open, and we are here ready to help, because we can help you straight away with the issues on the right-hand side. Customer services will help you straight away with the issues on the left-hand side of your screen, okay? We're all very busy people, so make sure any issue that comes up, get it dealt with straight away, okay? So speak to the right person from that point of view, okay? Now, what I wanted to talk to you about this evening, or the training that I wanted to do, and it won't be a long training because I don't want to keep you all on the call too long on this Monday evening, is network marketing, okay? It's not a job. Okay, but what is our role? What is our job spec? Any business, any job that you walk into, you will be given a spec. You'll be given a sheet of paper or a booklet explaining what you're required to do in that position. Okay, some jobs you will have gone to you'd have gone to college, school, university, and you'll have trained, for years to do. With network marketing, it's very, very simple. Okay, we master seven things. Okay, and we can actually become a professional network marketing individual. Okay, so it's just 7 things that we need to learn. We don't need to go to university for 3-4 years. We're just 7 issues. Now, if you can master those 7 points, and there's lots of training on on YouTube and things. There's lots of free training that you can tap into. And again, speak to the people that you admire in this business, in this industry, and say, what books, what audios have you listened to that have inspired you or given you the tools or the education that you've learned on your journey in network marketing to get you to where you are now? Because when you join a network marketing company, just because you've signed to say, or you've clicked a button to say that I'm going to become a distributor, there's not a little chip that's entered into your brain that gives you all the qualifications and all the know-how how to do this. Okay, we need to be working with our team, and we need to be, looking outside the box of where we can find the answers to mastering these 7 specs that we need to learn. So the first one being, and we all start with this, and you'll have heard people talking about this all the time, is writing a list. Okay, why do we write a list? Because we want to know who we're contacting. Okay, so if you're a professional networker, and Eric Warre says this, if you're a professional networker, what you want to do is you want to have an active candidate list, not a list of 60, 100, 200, 600 people that you literally go through and tick off. Okay, and you get to the bottom of your list and go, I'm not even a pro one. I've been all the way to the bottom of my list. This business isn't for me. Okay, that's not what this list is all about. What we're trying to do is we start writing a list, with whether you start with 20 people, 30 people, 60 people, 100 people, 200 people, 600 people. Write a list of everybody that you know. Don't try and write a list of people that you think will be interested in the business or you think will be interested in their product. Just write a list of everybody you know. Use your phone. You'll have loads of contacts in your phone. Look on Facebook. You'll have loads of contacts on Facebook. Look around you when you open the door, when you go to school, when you go to work. Write the names of people down, because if you've got an active prospect list, what you're basically doing is you might speak to 3-5 people on the list on one particular day. But if it's an active list, okay, the key word here is active, then what you're also trying to do is you're trying to add 1 or 2, 3, 4 people to it a day, okay? And there's so many different ways in which you could add people to the list. I've had funny situations, and my list is, I've got a hard list, but I've also I use Facebook a lot. I'm a mom. I don't get out too much in terms of networking with people. So 90% of my business is through Facebook. So I know if I can get people on my Facebook page and I can be consistent with plugging my people, my audience, so all my people on Facebook, into little things that are going on in my business, little things that are going on with the products, whether it's a success story or just basically sharing my lifestyle. I'm a mom, I'm able to work from home, I can go and spend time with my children, I can go to shows, I can go to sports day, I can do all of that because I'm a network marketing person and I have the flexibility. If I can share that information with people through Facebook, people will be watching and people will be like, well, if she can do all of that, she's working from home, she's obviously earning some money because she's going on holiday and she's doing X, Y, and Z, and she's just bought a new such and such. People start putting things together in their own mind and they'll start contacting you. So from Facebook, from my point of view, as I said, 90% of my business comes through Facebook. So I have little ways in which I can link up with people. And I'll give you a true life example this evening. I've been to a party. My daughter, Maya, her friend had a birthday party. She was 5 yesterday. We had a Punch and Judy show in the back garden. I'm sat with my little boy on my lap. He's watching the Punch and Judy show. And my daughter is kind of sat down to the side. So unless I lean really far forward, I can't see her. But she's absolutely loving the show. I can hear her laughing. I can hear her giggling. She's jumping up and down. She's pointing at the crocodile and all sorts. But I hadn't got the chance to get a photo. So the lady sat opposite me, who I've seen, I don't know her name, but I've seen backwards and forwards from school. I said to her, is there any chance you could grab a photo of Maya for me? So she took a photo on her camera, okay? I said, let's find each other on Facebook. Will you just send me that photo over? So we found each other on Facebook. We've accepted each other's friend requests. And guess what? I've just added another one person to my list. Okay? So many different ways that you can find people and add them to your list. Facebook's a massive one for me. And I know Eileen's already spoke about, using Facebook. But if you meet somebody in the street, you don't want to start reeling off loads of information about a little pill or the mighty pill or the business or anything like that. You can exchange telephone numbers, but ask them if they're on Facebook, because they can then see what you're sharing from a personal point of view, or the business or the product point of view, and they can follow you. Believe me or not, people watch you all the time. Okay, so point one, going back to this list, is writing a list, but making sure it's an active list. Okay, yes, we're going to be ticking people off, but we're also going to be adding people to that list as well. And in theory, because you're out there and about on a daily basis, you should never, ever, ever run out of people to talk to share this business or product with. Never, ever. Okay, there's ways in which you can fill that list and add people to that list. So that's tip number one in terms of what to do as a network marketing person. Master the inviting process. Okay, lots of people say to me, oh, I could never do your business, I'm no good at sales. Well, I'm a network marketer, I'm not a salesperson. Okay, so the first thing I don't do is I don't try and sell the product. I don't try and sell a business. Okay, because if I try and sell a business or a product, then I'm literally trying to talk somebody into doing something maybe that they've not completely thought through, or taking something that, yeah, they might try it for a month, but then they're going to disappear and then I'm not going to have a customer. Or worse, I'll sell it to them for a month because I've not given them the full details and I've not shared with them the expectations of why you should really be taking it for 3 to 6 months and longer. And that person takes it for a month, they don't take it again, and then they tell everybody the product doesn't work. So then that's just a grey area on a networking area. A group of people that are now going to say, oh, that product doesn't work just because that one person only took it for a month. So you've got to master inviting people, not selling this, master inviting people. So all you're doing is inviting people initially to look at an ABC link. Very, very simple. It's not a long link. It's a fantastic tool. Okay, I always sort of make a little bit of a comment. Look, I know it's a bit dated and I know it's American, but please bear with it because it's a really, really powerful presentation and it will demonstrate exactly how powerful our product is. Okay, so master how you're inviting people. All we are doing every day is inviting people to take a look at this ABC or this business presentation or a product presentation. All we're doing is inviting people. So if we can master inviting, this business becomes so much simpler, and get out of the mindset of trying to sell this to somebody. Just invite people to take a look, because like Eileen said, as soon as I showed her that ABC link, she knew straight away that she wanted to be involved in this. Okay, and then think about presenting it. Now, this doesn't necessarily need you to be presenting it. Okay, so we just need to work out how we're going to present this. Now, it could be that you get people on a product call at 8:30 on a Sunday. It could be that you're getting people to a product call on a Tuesday at 8:30, or maybe the business webinar on a Wednesday at 8:30. Just get to a point where you're able to present this. But one of the things that you really could do with learning is how to present this yourself. So if you could learn from the likes of Lara and Lisa, and I'm included in this, if we could learn from these people that are doing fantastic presentations on a weekly basis and learn how to master presenting the product, learn how to master presenting the business, okay? If you then get somebody new in the business and they actually wanted to do maybe a launch call, which we're still doing a lot of and we get fantastic results with, you're able to do it, which will be fantastic because they know you. You've maybe been friends for a little while, so they will feel comfortable introducing you to their group of friends that they're going to invite onto the call or into the living room. Okay, so master the presenting yourself. And one of the biggest ways of learning is come and listen to people at corporate. We've got a fantastic event, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, in London on Saturday. We're going to have some fantastic presentations. Come along and learn the information and learn how to present this business and product. And then the biggie, and again, Eileen touched on this fantastically, follow up. It's dead easy, like Eileen said, to throw links out. Look at this ABC, look at this ABC, look at this ABC, look at this ABC. But following up, if you don't follow up, you're not going to get any customers, you're not getting any people in this business. And it's quite common that you need to follow up people, you need to expose people, you need to invite people to at least 4 to 6 different bits of information for people to actually commit to becoming a customer or commit to doing this business. You need to expose them to things, and you don't know what they want to be exposed to until you follow them up. If you've got somebody to a business presentation and they say, yeah, I'm really interested, but you don't follow up. So if you don't follow up, then you don't know that actually all they wanted to know was how the compensation plan worked, and then they were going to sign up as a distributor. Okay. If you don't follow up, you don't know that that's the only little bit of information, or actually that they actually just want to get started there and then. If you follow up on somebody and they say, love it, how does the money work? And you show them the compensation, then you follow them up again, you know, the chances are they're going to become a distributor. Okay. Or maybe they just want a little bit more information. Maybe then it's that point, then we're looking at the 3 ways, which is point 5. So if you can master the follow-up process, which lots of people try and give a wide berth to, because when you're following up, this is when you're going to get rejection, and this is what most people fear. So let's think about following up. Let's make sure that you're exposing people on a daily basis, but you're also following people up. You're exposing them, you're also following them up on a daily basis. So follow up is a really big point. And then 5, being able to close somebody. Eric Worre does this great. And he asks sort of like a question, you know, out of all the information that you've seen, on a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 being I'm really not interested, and 10 being, yeah, I'm ready to become a customer, or I'm ready to do this business, whereabouts do you sit on that scale? And if somebody would typically say, I'm around 5, 6, 7, great, that's fantastic. So what bit of information do you need now that I can help get you to a 6, 7, or 8, or maybe even a 10? And it might be that they've got a few questions about the ingredients. It might be that, you know, they want to see the compensation plan, or you might actually get a better feel and think, actually, this is when I need to give my upline a call and see whether I can do a 3-way. Because by talking to a third party and getting that third party, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but peace of mind for a third party, it just works. It totally just works. And I'll give you an example of that. I've got a lady who's been looking at this business. She's looked at loads of information from this business. I actually invited her to come to the event on the 15th, and she told me she was doing something from a birthday point of view. And I said to her, I actually said, you know what, you remind me very, you know, you're quite similar to Lara, who I work with in this business. I would love to introduce you to Lara, because I think you guys would just hit it off really, really well. And she said, oh yeah, okay, yeah, lovely. So I arranged for Lara to speak to her. It should have been a 3-way, but unfortunately at the time I couldn't do it. Lara's spoken to her. She's coming to the event on Saturday. Okay, fantastic. Use your 3-way, use your upline. So that's point 5. Getting people started right. We've got a fantastic model on Team Heart of how to do this. You know, Rachel Jackson, Tara Wilson, and the Team Heart team have put this together for you. And every now and again, we run a Saturday morning getting started training. Okay, this is the blueprint training that we're talking about. Get people started right. If you can get people started right, you've done everything that you can to help those people succeed. You've shown them exactly the same opportunity that you've got in your hands. It's then up to them whether they run with it or not. Okay, if you get somebody started right and they decide they don't want to do it further on down the line, that's not your fault. Okay, if you don't get somebody started and they decide they don't want to do that, then maybe that's your fault, because you've not shared with them, you've not really shown them how this business could build, what they could get out of this business, how many people they could help with this product. So get people started right. It's really, really key. Okay, and then the next one is promoting events. Fantastic way of getting people into your business. It's a fantastic way of you learning more about your business, meeting more people in your business, and getting just generally getting there. So getting in that social circle from your business point of view. Okay, so promoting events, getting people to events. Okay, we've got a fantastic event coming up on Saturday, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that now. So just to recap, network marketing. If you want to be a professional networking marketeer, okay, you want to master just 7 steps, okay, 7 steps. If you go on to Eric Worre, 7 steps to becoming a professional networker on YouTube, there's free information, there's free trainings on how to master those 7 steps, okay? So my challenge for you this week is go and download Eric Worre of somebody that's talking about those 7 steps to success with regards to network marketing. Okay? On to events. I'm just going to grab a quick drink. Please make sure you take a screenshot of this. We've got the address, we've got the times, we've got the agenda, and we've also got the link on here. So this is the event. What we haven't got on there is the date, but we all know it's Saturday the 15th, and if you're in the Netherlands, then it's the 16th. Ivan, I haven't got the address for that, so maybe you could pop that on the chat. But this is what we are planning in the UK. Okay, we've got the address, we've got the agenda. The agenda is going to be fantastic. If you're looking at this thinking, oh, I've been to these events before, I've seen a business overview, I don't need to see any more business overviews, you're wrong. You need to come, because by watching another business overview, you will pick up another few golden nuggets. You will pick up more ways of how to present this business to more people, okay? And you will learn and educate yourself. This is you. This is your education, this event is. But more importantly, if you can get people in front of them and to see this business overview as well, it's going to expand your business. But the biggest thing that we've got on this weekend is we are flying in the top PV introducer in terms of Europe, and that person is going to be sharing an amazing training session with you, basically on how to build a business right from the basics. So it's going to be practical tips on how to build your business, how to speak to customers, how to speak to people about the business. It's all the little nuts and crannies that people go, oh, if only I'd got some examples on how to do that, or how does such and such do that? It looks so easy. I wish I could do that. All that information is going to be shared with you. So all distributors, any distributors, this is not a Pro 3 training. This is open to everybody. So if you get into the business today, this is open to you. If you've been involved in the business for the last year, 14 months, it's open to you, okay? Team training, 11 a.m. till 12:30, okay? If you can be there at 10:30, for an 11 a.m. start, that's great, because it gives you a chance to do a bit of networking, introduce yourself to more people. And the training will start at 11 a.m. sharp on Saturday, okay? That will run till 12:30. Then we've got 12:30 till 1 o'clock, where we're going to be registering our guests, doing a bit of networking. This is great, because if you can get your guests there at 12:30 and you've got your upline in the room, or people that you work with that you can introduce them to, then you can introduce them to these people, because it's another way for them to learn more stories. It's another way for them to meet people and go, actually, that lady, she's not too dissimilar from me. If she can do it, why can't I do it? It's just a really great opportunity to open the doors to your guests of meeting the people that are actually doing this business. So then we've got the business presentation that will run 1 till 3, and we've got the corporate team coming in to do some of that as well, which is fantastic. And then 3 till 4, we've got the blueprint training. So again, get your new people into the room and be able to experience the blueprint training. Likewise, anybody that's watching the business overview, that's a guest, that is interested in doing this business, they can stay and they can watch this blueprint training, and we can get them started right from day one, okay? You need to make sure that you're booking your places, okay? You need to book your places. So far, we've got 51 people booked on, but we know there's a lot of people that haven't actually booked their places. So we want to try and get those places over 100. So it's up to us as a team, as an organisation, to go out there, register ourselves, okay, make the arrangements to get down there to benefit from the training at 11 a.m. So to be in the room by 10:30, but also to register your guests, okay? So make sure you register your guests. So that's the event on Saturday. Now, what the training is all going to be about, and I'm going to hand this over in a second to our very own Lara, because I'm going to ask Lara, Lara, are you there?
I am.
Lisa, are you there? Looking like Lara, cool.
I've been hiding behind Lisa's picture all night.
Lara, this training on Saturday is something we've not really done before. We want to really make sure that we're adding value to the distributors in the room, especially those people that are going to be travelling, a distance to get to London, that have already seen maybe 2, 3, 4, 10 business overviews already, and they're thinking, oh, why do I need to go to the event on Saturday? I haven't even got a guest. Well, first of all, there's still time to get a guest. And secondly, this training is going to be amazing. Lara, share a little bit of how you feel share a bit about what the training is going to be about, and also what people will walk away with in terms of watching this training that's going to be delivered on Saturday.
Absolutely, I will do. I tell you, before I do, I just want to sitting here listening to you and go through those 7 key skills, right? And I don't know why I was thinking about it, but I live opposite a corner store, and every morning I see Mr. Akram turn up at about 7:15.
Okay, and he has a business that relies on him day in, day out, and he has some key things he has to do every single day, otherwise his business wouldn't work. The first thing is he unlocks the shutters and he opens the shutters up. Then he unlocks the door and he goes in. I see him bring in the newspapers, bring in the milk, and he stocks his shelves. I see him, put all the cash in his till every day, and at the end of the night I see him cash up. I see deliveries come and go every single day. And the 7 things that Charlie just spoke about are there are unfolding the shutters. They're us cashing up. They're us making sure there's enough money in the till so our business can operate. And here's the thing: if you leave one of those things out, you're not going to have the same business. I know if Mr. Akram did not put a float in his till every day and I went over to buy a pint of milk for £1 with a £10 note, he's not going to be able to give me change. So either he'll say, Laura, come back later in the day with £1, or I'm going to have to say, I'll have to come back and get the change. He's not going to run an effective business. Okay? If he doesn't open his shutters, but everything else inside is all ready, well, no one can get into the store. I really can't tell you the 7 skills that Charlie has just shared with you are fundamental skills we need to get. And the most fundamental skill, okay, if I was to put number 1, ask me what the number 1 is, it's attending and promoting events, okay? 100% attending and promoting events, because everything else you can learn, but it's going to events that is really key. And I'll put it in a different way. If you, and this is an awful analogy because we're all such health-driven people, we're also passionate about health and well-being, but if you went out and bought a McDonald's franchise tomorrow, you'd spend about £250,000 buying your franchise, and you'd probably invest the best part of another £250,000 in actually getting the building and the lease and everything off the ground. That's what you would invest. Okay, and you would make sure if McDonald's head office was offering a training day, you would be there because you're looking to break even from that £500,000 you just spent. Okay, here at LifeVantage, gold distributors are spending the best part of £600. Platinum pack distributors are spending the best part of £1,100. And sometimes people feel it's not necessary to go there. But I want you to think about Mr. Akram with his shop. If he doesn't put the shutters up, doesn't put cash in the till, doesn't put stuff on the shelves to sell, he doesn't really have a very efficient business. So that is a key thing, guys, absolutely key. And I look at someone like Eileen, who has had one hell of a year. If you just took one of the personal challenges that she's had it in her life in the last 12 months, most of us would have called that a bad year. She had about a dozen things go on there that were really bad. The one thing she was always plugging into was events. She was on every single team call, or she was listening to the recording, and she was attending events so that her belief system stayed there. So guys, I will always tell you, by coming to an event, you're going to have social proof. When you walk into a room and you see 100 other people there, that gives you social proof. But it's also, you owe it to yourself and your business. Now, what's going to happen this Saturday morning specifically? We're going to do some practical training, some training that some of you may have experienced before, many of you won't have, but it's for everyone. So if you're a Pro 3 right now, or you have just signed up, I know we've got a new distributor on the line. I can see her. She's up in Scotland. Pauline, I've got to give you a shout out. You've had 2 new customers in your first week. That's awesome. Well done. Doesn't matter what level you're in at your business, whether you've just signed up tonight or you sign up tomorrow and you're listening to this recording because somebody has sent it to you. You want to be there. We're going to give you some really practical tools on how to talk about the business, how to talk about the products. Now, we're not talking about becoming the oracle on the products. Charlie talked about earlier, and Eileen did as well. We have a system to follow, but how best to invite people to look at it, how to follow up. Anyone who knows my story knows that it took me 9 months to take a proper look at my first network marketing business, because I gave my first sponsor every excuse in the book. But my word, she persisted. I would not be in network marketing if she had not been good at follow up. So we're going to look at follow up. We're going to also look at how do we upsell our customers. Hands up in the chat right now. Would you love every single Pro Tandem NRF2 customer to be on NRF1? You would have just taken your average monthly order from 40 to 90. If you have 10 customers, you will have gone from 40 in PV to 900 in PV, okay? You're going to hear about handling rejections. Who feels you know, I don't know, I was going to say a rude word. Who feels a little bit like, ugh, when they get a no? When you think someone is going to say yes, when you believe someone is, you know, if only she would take this pill, she's going to sleep so much better. If only she would take this pill, she's going to have so much more energy. And those people just look at you vaguely, or when you ask them, did you look at the information, right? How does that make you feel? And answer me truthfully, how many of you guys let a no stop you from keeping your like phoning the next person? I put together while my kids were eating their tea tonight and I was running around doing stuff, I put a list of 73 people I need to follow up with to invite on Saturday. Now, if number 2 or number 3 or number 4 says something that upsets me and rocks my confidence, I could be denying the rest, whatever it is, 66, an invite. So you're going to look at, how do you handle those rejections? How do you become that duck, water off a duck's back, and a whole lot more? We're going to cram it into an hour and a half. We're going to do our best to do it. But what I would say to you is, if you're not yet booked on, book on. You know, we've got 39 people on tonight's call. If every single one of us came, brought one person or 2 people, we'd have so much more. And the other thing I just want to say, Charlie did a really good job of explaining the power of 3 ways just now. I did a 3-way earlier on this evening with a new distributor and her guest. Her guest is coming, but her guest was immediately going, I think we should invite, and started naming other people. You know what? You might be sitting here right now going, I'm going to be Norma No Mates on Saturday. I have no one in my team. You don't have to be Norma No Mates or Norman No Mates on Saturday. You can be there with people. And you know what? Last minute invites work. Trust me, one of the first events we had here in the UK, I had 12 guests confirmed. 7 of those guests I had confirmed about 2 weeks before, or over a 2-week period. The 5 I confirmed within the last 48 hours were the ones that showed up. Okay, you're going, oh, Laura, you're a pro 5. Do people not show up for you? Yes, I get lots of rejection, lots of it. Oh my goodness, I get so much rejection. So we're going to teach you about getting better at creating your own bounce back ability strategy. So there's so much going to happen on Saturday. The morning, as Charlie said, is going to be field led. It's going to be led by the field, by distributors who are doing this, who are feeling it, who are experiencing it, who are falling down and getting up. The afternoon is going to be corporate led with the help of the field. And then there is going to be a blueprint training at 3 o'clock. So you're going to stick around. And also there's going to be a gap between the presentation and the blueprint training for guests who want to head off and everything. But I just want to say, Charlie, you've done an absolutely brilliant job tonight. Give her a shout out if you think she's done a brilliant job. And my word, was Eileen's story compelling? How many people would have probably quit their business going through all she did? So I want to say thank you, Charlie. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of you on Saturday. If your name's not on the list, go to that link. We'll put it out in all the groups now. Go register, and do not come alone. So Charlie, back to you, love.
Thank you very much, Lara. I love Lara. Love your energy. Thank you very much. Yeah, promoting London, where do you start? Okay, so a couple of tips. Who do you know who is literally 1-2 hour radius from London or Amsterdam? Just change the name, London, Amsterdam. When I say London, guys, if you're in the Netherlands, just think I'm saying Amsterdam. So go back and look at your prospects list. Go back and look at your active list that we've now got written, okay? Highlight and message those people this week. Speak to the people on your prospect list that are within an hour to 2 hours of London, and prioritize speaking to those people in the next few days, okay? Now go to your follow-up list. Now your follow-up list at this probably moment in time is probably longer than your prospect list because you keep putting off the follow-ups, okay? So go back to your follow-ups. Don't put it off. Go back to your follow-ups. Look at the people who are within an hour to 2 hour mark radius of London and go and speak to them this week. Go and send them a message, go and speak to them, just go and do something, go and connect with them and let them know what you are doing on Saturday. Let them know that there will be some value in the room on Saturday for them to look at, okay? Then go to your current customers, because I'm pretty certain all your customers, if they're the same as mine, they're benefiting from this product. So go and speak to your current customers and go and invite them to come and have a look at what we're doing. Go and invite them to come and feel the energy in the room. Go and invite them to come and find out more about the business that their product is coming from, okay? Also, while you're with them, ask them who do they know who would also benefit from this, and why not invite their friends along as well, okay? Then go to your Facebook page. It's really, really easy. If you go to Facebook I'm not so au fait with LinkedIn, but I'm pretty certain you can do it. And literally type in the search bar in Facebook, friends who live in London. So the friends that are in your area, the friends in your Facebook, if you type in friends within London or friends within Kent or friends within, Hertfordshire, wherever, if you type that in, it will bring you up a list of all the people that are in that area. Go and speak to them. Go and connect with them. Go and ask them what they're doing on Saturday. Go and invite them. Go and tell them what a fantastic event you're going to on Saturday, and you'd love if they could come and spend a couple of hours with you, okay? And then, if you are traveling a distance, don't come alone. Fill your car. Make sure there's somebody that you know sat either side of you on the train. Don't come alone. Just bring somebody. It might be your customer. It could be your neighbour. Just bring somebody. That's what I would do in terms of, that's what I am doing in terms of promoting this event for London. Okay. Now I've got a few challenges for you this week, because in mine and Lara's group this week, we've had some fantastic successes with people that have been really focusing on customers. Now, when Eileen was talking, she said when she started the business that she was getting customers, but she wasn't getting them on auto ship. Now, there was a reason for that, and the reason for that is we were having some challenges in Ireland. Now, Eileen will nod. Her main aim is any customer is to get them on auto ship. Okay, Eileen, would you agree with that? Not sure if Eileen's going to sleep there. But yeah, we want people on auto ship. So if you did pick up on what Eileen was saying, Eileen is now focused on auto ship. She understands it a little bit better, but we've also got a better delivery system for Southern Ireland. But the 5 things that I would love you to focus on, and this is only if you want to, okay? Because there's going to be people on this call that won't be bothered with this. There's going to be people on this call that maybe plug out for the rest of the week in terms of this business. But those people will be the people that don't grow their business this next week. Okay, so all the people on this call this evening that want to grow their business, my challenge for you is to focus on 5 things, okay? First of all, register for your ticket for London, okay? Commit to being there. Secondly, go and speak to the people on your prospect list, your follow-up list, your current customers, anybody that you come in contact with, and go and get people to confirm that they are happy to come to this event, and then go and register them, okay? Don't run around saying it's a free event, come along, because they need to know that there's some value in this. Just mention that if they are interested in coming to hear about this business, or coming to find out more about the product and how this product is helping loads of people, you will make sure that there is a seat reserved for them on Saturday. All they've got to do is confirm that they will be there. Okay, so go and get 3 to 5 people registered for that London event. Okay, let's see how quickly we can get those 51 people registered already to over 100. And then commit to speaking to 20 plus prospects this week. Now, if you work that out, that's approximately 3 people a day. So on your active list, go and find 3 people a day that you can connect with. Go and find 3 people that you can speak to, okay? And I challenge you to think of a couple of people that are actually on your chicken list, and see whether you can tick a couple of chicken list people off this week. You'll be surprised at the results. Yes, you'll get some no's, we know that, but you'll also get some yeses. So that's 3 people a day. Who's happy to commit to that? If you put it in the chat. And then who's happy to commit to 20 follow-ups? Because if you've been in this business for just a week, you're going to have at least 20 people on a list to follow up. If you've been following this system, you will have at least 20 people to follow up. Okay? So my challenge again to you is go and commit to following up on at least 20 people. So again, that's about 3 people a day. So all in all, we're looking at connecting with 6 people a day for the next week, okay? And the main focus being on the London event, the secondary focus being on actually plugging in consistent effort to grow your business over the next 7 days. Now, for 1 second, just turn the month upside down, okay? Because at the end of this month, Lara, myself, Lisa, Vicky, Joe, Eileen, anybody who's Pro 4 and above, Ivan, will be speaking to you and saying, have you got your 200 PV, okay? Let's not leave it till the end of the month. Let's go and get our 200 PV now, okay? By the 15th of the month, let's get our 200 PV in now, and then see what your PV is at the end of the month, especially if you're doing constant daily effort, especially if you're connecting with people, putting new people on your list and following up on people, because I'm pretty certain that for those people that go 200 PV by the 15th, and we have been doing a bit of a challenge in myself and Lara's group, and we've got lots of people who are way past 200 PV because they've been focusing on this for the first 10 days of the month, I guarantee those people that are 200 PV qualified by the 15th of this month will be way over it by the time the month finishes. And what does that mean? Firstly, you're helping more people with this product. Secondly, you're earning more money. And thirdly, if you're focusing on customers, you're exposing more people to this that potentially will become your distributors, will become your team in the future, because we get lots of upgrades, okay? That's pretty much me done for this evening, okay? All I'd like to say is go grow your business, have fun, because we all do this because we have fun, and most of all, enjoy every single day for the next 7 days, but make sure we're focusing on those 5 things, okay? Just go and do those 5 things this week. Your business will grow. You will sit here next Monday satisfied that you've had a fantastic week. Enjoy your evening, guys. Thanks for sharing the time with us this evening. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for everybody for being so fantastic. I'm now going to call this meeting to a close, although I just need to find out how to stop the record. Okay. Bye, guys.